Hello, and welcome to What's What with Dilly and Dally.
What's up, Dilly?
What's up, Dally? Beep, 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 beep. All right, welcome back to What's What with Dilly and Dally. I'm Dilly.
I'm Dally.
For now. And on this flight, we are going from New York to Phoenix. So we're starting today in New York. We wanted to talk about recently, I went out to visit Nicole and we went to New York. I went to visit her. She lives on Long Island.
Yep.
I did it right. I said on.
Yes, you did. I mean,
proud of me? Are you proud of me? I basically am a New Yorker now.
It always brings up the have a catch, play catch turn phrase for me, because you can say you live in Long Island, but you can also say on Long Island, and people do both. And I never know which is the correct one, but I always say on. So anyway.
No, I feel like that is a lie that you just told our audience, because I have absolutely heard you badmouth people for saying in Long Island, and you're like, it's on, you live on Long Island.
I don't remember this, but I probably have.
Okay, anyway, so I went to go visit Nicole on Long Island. Nicole is the best friend ever, and gave me as my birthday present a trip to New York. So she bought my ticket.
There's a very specific reason, two specific reasons for this.
Yes, though. She very nicely bought me this ticket so that we could go see Keep Flying, which is our favorite band.
Yes, it is.
Wearing another Keep Flying shirt.
Love you guys.
But they were playing at, what was the name of it?
Amityville Music Hall.
Yes. And as someone who's never, I've been to New York one time. I was very pregnant. We've talked about it.
This was one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you back.
So it
wasn't January. You weren't 7.5 months pregnant.
It's fair. It was better than that. But yeah, so we went there to see them, and as someone who's never, I know Amityville from Amityville Horror, period. I did not. She grew up with this being her life.
Yeah.
That people talked about. I didn't. So I was like, Amityville Music Hall? It sounds so magic. And I was like, absolutely. And yeah, so we were like, absolutely. And so I flew out to see her. We want to talk about it. So let's get into it.
Yeah. So it took a lot of planning, because it was brought up in March, which is April, when Emily's birthday happened. And I don't know why I said March, because I know your birthday's April. You share the same birthday with my shitty cousin.
I don't feel any type of way if anyone forgets my birthday. I forget my own birthday on the day.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing that I had to coordinate with John, the saxophone player of Keep Flying, who I love. And he kept me apprised of when, because we're in the middle of a pandemic still, guys, we're still in it, that live music was coming back, especially in New York. And he finally told me 2 months before the actual show was going to happen. He was like, hey, we're announcing it next week. I'm going to tell you, because I know you've been planning this thing with Emily. You want to fly her out. This is when it's happening. And it just so happened to be right after my birthday, the last day of July and the first day of August. So it was going to be summer. It was right after my birthday. It was a birthday present to Emily. It was a lot of great things.
A lot of birthdays, a lot of love.
Yeah. And my birthday was god awful that year.
Yeah. This was also just to specify time wise, this is right before Delta variant kicked up again. And it was people were worried. And this was an event where vaccine cards were checked at the door. Yeah. I felt very safe.
Yeah. We wore masks the whole time. So everyone was wearing masks except for the band, obviously.
Yeah. So if you're going to go out, do it safely. We didn't broadcast it all over social media because we don't want people to do garbage things. Be chill, y'all. You can do things, just do it safely. Anyway, that's my only time I'll say it.
Yeah.
We did things safely. Please do that.
So Emily flew out. I feel like this has to get brought up.
Yeah. So Nicole very nicely and lovingly flew me into Newark.
didn't, when I purchased the ticket, I purchased the cheapest one, didn't even look at where she was flying in until after the fact. And also, her flight left Phoenix at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm a garbage person.
I had to get up at like 4:30 and get to the airport just to fly into fucking Newark.
And that meant I had to drive from Long Island into New Jersey to pick her up in the middle of rush hour. And I got stuck. The route it took me, I got stuck in downtown Manhattan for like 2 hours. So Emily was sitting at the airport.
Yes.
Forever waiting for me to get her.
And I have stupid gut disorder, which essentially translates to I have to eat at certain times or my belly makes me throw up. And so I get to the end of I went to go get my bags. Nicole had told me I'm going to be 2 hours late. I was like, oh my God, I was already so sick, so nauseated. For those that do not know, I use cannabis to medicate so that I do not feel like garbage. I have actual medications for these things. Becomes important later, and I actually want to talk about this because I have a chronic illness. My doctors have told me that I should take Xanax and Finnegan every day, and if those of you don't know what that is, both of those will make you go to sleep. So I don't do that because that's wild to ask of me. And so I smoke cannabis to help me do things during the day so that I don't have to be overly medicated all the time. So that's where I want to start this story because it becomes pretty important. So I was very sick and I get to the end. I get the text that she's 2 hours late. I'm in Jersey.
Where she's never been before.
She's never been before. And let me tell you, y'all are mean.
Jersey's garbage.
We talk about Southern hospitality and Northern kindness and the difference between those. And I do prefer the Northern kindness to the Southern hospitality. However, whatever Jersey's got going on, it's neither.
It's a whole different thing.
It's full on aggression. It's fucking rude.
You witnessed a car accident.
I witnessed a car accident
at the airport pickup.
The airport pickup.
Newark, get your shit together.
Y'all couldn't get your shit together in an airport pickup. Oh my God. It was wild. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. I want to just shout out to the only nice person in Jersey, which was the airport employee who saw me crying.
Oh no, I forgot about that.
Next to a pillar. I had found a spot and I nested myself and was just crying because I didn't know what else to do. Because when I was like, I'll just get my bags and get food. Because that's what will make me feel better. Is the only thing I can do is eat. So I was like, cool, let me get my bags and get food. So I went and got my bags. And then I got to the end. But then when I realized, oh no, when you get to the spot where you have to get your bags, you can't go back. And because of COVID, they had closed everything in this part of the airport. So there was no food. There's no food. Everything was closed. And except for I could see a Dunkin' Donuts. And I was like, okay, maybe they have food. And I get there like a biscuit or something. And I get there and they were like, it was like employees only. So it was only open to employees. And I was like, oh my God. I just started crying. So that's where I was. And this beautiful, lovely lady was like, are you okay? And I was like, no. I needed to buy crackers or something. I can't do that because I can't get out of the airport. My friend's not here. She's not going to be here for 2 hours. And I don't know what to do. And she was like, and I couldn't take my Finnegan. What am I going to do? Sleep in the airport? No, I was like, I don't know what to do now. And so I was panicking and she was like, let me get you food. And she went over to the Dunkin' Donuts, let me order from there. She told the lady, let her order. And so I did. I got hash browns and a biscuit and I cried and I was like, thank you so much. So shout out, only nice person in Jersey. Everyone else there sucked so bad.
Sorry, New Jersey, but not sorry.
At least at Newark. I don't know what's up with that airport, but it's everyone walked in and was like, what's human kindness? Never heard of her. Just did whatever they wanted.
Yeah, Newark Airport is the physical embodiment of we choose violence.
So anyway, I got my hash browns and stuff, and then I ate food and I was fine. And then waited for 2 hours until Nicole picked me up. And then as I was waiting, I witnessed a car accident. People were just screaming all the time. just everyone was yelling at everybody. And then like cars were like speeding and stopping and weaving in front of each other. I was like, what are you doing? And there were like cops there who were mostly just like not giving a shit and like whistling at people for no reason.
Par for the course.
Mostly yelling at people trying to cross the street, not the actual cars for like trying to hit the people crossing the street in the crosswalk. Like, but just like trying to police, like they were just being crossing guards. If nothing, they were really just there to be crossing guards and yell at the people.
Yep.
But they were not actually yelling at the people in the cars. Anyway.
I finally got you.
Finally got me. And literally, like, as I'm waiting to hear her, I hear like a huge crash. And I was like, what the fuck? And someone had weaved in traffic and tried to like, what was happening is people were stopped and then other people were trying to drop off. And so people were trying to weave back into traffic once they got their person. Someone had gotten their person and tried to weave back into traffic. And someone hit them because they were going so fast. They could not stop.
Mm-hmm.
Jersey, what the fuck? It is the airport. No. Like, you should all be arrested for like just not being good people. Like, everyone involved in that accident is what I mean. Like, yeah, I was like, all of y'all were terrible in that. And then they got out and started, it was so loud. They started screaming. And then Nicole finally pulled up and I was like, oh my God, get me out of here.
Then to be proceed into Jersey traffic.
Yes. And then we had to get into Jersey traffic.
Going over the George Washington Bridge, which is always under construction and always garbage. Mm-hmm. And then you get to Long Island and you're on the Cross Island Parkway and that's even more traffic. Yep. So it's just traffic.
I was feeling not good at this point. Oh, and let's talk about something else now. So I found out very soon after getting to New York, usually what I do when I need my medication is I make sure that I have my medication before I need weed. I have my medication before I get there. Like I send it to myself so that I have it. You know, and so, but what ended up happening is that I was like, it's legal in New York, which it is legal in New York recreationally. Yep. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be fine. I can just go buy it.
We don't have dispensaries yet.
They don't have dispensaries yet.
Like we literally don't.
They have dispensaries, but they're all medical dispensaries. Yep. And you cannot go there. Even though it's legal recreationally, it's not legal to sell recreationally yet. Like they haven't put the laws in place.
And federally, like it's state by state.
Yeah.
So like your card for your medical marijuana is not valid in the state of New York.
It's only valid in Arizona, not in New York. And I was like, oh my God. So I was like calling around my contacts trying to be like, somebody's got to have a hookup.
And I don't partake.
So Nicole's doing her best.
Yeah. I called people to be like, who got weed? Doing
like, it felt like I was a teenager. Like I never did the teenager smoking weed thing. I started smoking specifically to help my chronic illness. I really did. Like I did not as a teenager ever partake.
Yeah.
And so like I never got this experience. So this was what this experience was.
So we didn't even go home. We went straight to, I finally got through to someone who got me through to someone. And we went to a town that I used to live in called Huntington. And we went to a supermarket parking lot. Mm-hmm. Where I texted the person who was working at the supermarket as the cart attendant, so he would be outside. Mm-hmm. And they came to our car and we told them what we wanted, bought that, had pre-ordered Thai food for dinner because you really wanted Thai food.
Yes, because I live out in the desert. There's no Thai food out here.
And so we went, this is when we have to walk situation happened.
Yes.
We went to the parking lot of the Thai food place. We were waiting for the Thai food to get ready. So I was like, and you needed pre-roll or you needed papers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, there's a smoke shop over here. You put your seatbelt on. I was like, nah, we're getting out and walking because there's nowhere to park.
I was like, what?
Yeah. So we walked. It's just like 2 blocks.
And I was like, hey, what?
Got your rolls, got our food. Then we went home. Yes. So we finally got to see Nova.
Yes.
The next day was the show, but it wasn't starting until later. And so what happened? I forgot that we did something. We were doing something and we were like hanging out and just chilling and like stuff like that.
What did we do that day?
We went really early because you wanted to go. We went a little bit earlier because I like being early to places, which freaks you out. but we went into Amityville, and Amityville had like a little witch shop, and it had food.
That's right. Wasn't that Witch Day?
Yeah, it wasn't total. Witch Day was more Brooklyn, but like I found a witch shop in Long Island.
Yeah.
And then in Amityville, like right down the street from the music hall. So we went there and looked around.
Mm-hmm.
The only food you could eat that was open in town was Chinese food. It was across the street from the venue. So we did that. Then we went to the show.
Okay.
And you got to meet the guys in person for the first time.
I was fully embarrassed. Like, I'm a huge nerd. Don't look at me.
It was so funny because Peter was running the door, and Peter was like, "Oh my God, it's Emily!" Like,
which, like, I have severe anxiety. Like, so walk up and I'm already anxious and nervous, and like I feel like to anyone else, to any normal human being, like you walking up and like your favorite band like that you've never met being like Nicole would be like, oh my God, this is heaven. And I was like, I want to disappear. It was very, if anyone's seen Community, you know how Troy feels about meeting LeVar Burton.
Yes.
That's how I feel about meeting all people. You can't disappoint a picture.
Set phasers to love me.
Yes, that's me. And so I was like, oh my God. So I'm like frozen, and I'm sure they all think I'm very weird because I'm sure Nicole was like, she's great and wonderful. And I met them and I was like, hi. Hi.
No, it was great though, because we finally got to, like, obviously, like, I guess like people like that listeners don't know. We talk about these guys a lot, but like these are our friends. Like they're like, John and I have known each other since we were teenagers, and we have developed friendships with these guys. So it's not like it's like a weird fans.
It's more like Nicole has these relationships, and like I have like a parasocial relationship with them.
Yeah.
Because like I interact with them on social media and stuff, but like I had never met them. And so like it was very like overwhelming to be like, oh my God. And so I'm sure they think I'm absolutely.
No, they don't. They love you. And we love them. And like, so we're at this show, we're together, we're seeing live music for the first time in over almost 2 years. And that it's funnily enough, they were the last band that I saw live right before the shutdown. Literally, it was like the week before. They played in Huntington with Rolling Fish. It was great. So it was just like a really cool experience. It was the Amityville Music Hall. It sounds like this really fucking dope place. It sounds like orchestras play there and shit. It's a hole in the wall dive bar, y'all.
Dive bar.
It used to be called the Village Pub South. It's had a couple names. It's changed owners over the years. I've been going to this place since I was a teenager, so it was very nostalgic for me. Because like I just grew up at this venue. Like there obviously aren't the holes anymore because the people have filled them up. But like I put a hole in this wall once. Like it's like,
oh my God.
It was great. So I was in all my Long Island scene feels, and I was enjoying this with my best friend, and we were the bands that went on before them were wonderful. We had such a great time. The thing that needs to get brought up that we want to talk about specifically too is that before the show, we were getting ready we were like, what are you going to wear? What are you going to wear? And Emily was like, oh, I'm going to wear my Keep Flying shirt. And I was like, no, you can't do that. And then
okay, so literally like it was literally like I'm getting ready, like you're like, what are you gonna wear? I don't know what I'm gonna wear. And I was like, okay, yeah, the first night I described the outfit, I was like, it's this. And then the second night, I was thinking of wearing my Keep Flying shirt. And she was like, she's whipped around and she said, you can't do that.
That's a good reenactment. What do you mean I can't do that?
What do you mean I cannot do that?
So I proceeded to explain to you the rules of the scene, which I thought everyone knew.
It's very not punk, okay? Rules for being punk is not punk.
And this was freaking me out because my entire life growing up in the scene, you would be called that guy. If you were at the show and you were wearing the t-shirt of the band that was playing at that show, you were horrendously made fun of.
And like Nicole and I the only thing that I can think of is that it's regional, because I did not hear these rules. They were very specific rules, and there were more of them. We'll get in that in a minute. But like, there are very specific rules that she started describing to me. And the only thing I can think of is that it has to be regional, because the groups of the people that I ran with, this was not a thing. At least I never heard it. Maybe it was. Full disclosure, I am autistic. So like, it's very possible that there was like social rules that I was not a part of, because it's kind of like par for the course.
Yeah.
But like, as far as I know, no one ever told me any of these rules. And I was very much in the music scene.
Yeah. And I went so far as to post on Facebook and ask my friends. I was like, hey, Facebook friends, is this actually a thing, or am I just remembering this wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And people in the comments, like people who I haven't talked to in a long time that I did go to shows with when I was younger, were like, absolutely a thing. Yes. Oh yeah, you can't do that. And then I found out that it is in a movie. I can't remember the movie now, and it's like, it's going to bother me, but Jeremy Piven specifically is in this movie, and he says to Jon Favreau's character, because he's wearing the band shirt, and he's like, don't be that guy. Mm-hmm. It's literally a thing. If you can remember the movie, like, drop it. And then we get to the show, because it's a 2-night show. That's very important. It's a 2-day show. Different opening bands. Keep Flying is playing both nights, headlining. It's like a whole big spectacular welcome back to live music. So it was a 2-day show. Different opening acts. Keep Flying headlining. They're going to play Survival all the way through, which is their album that they dropped during the pandemic.
Girls and do it stuff.
Yes, it's fucking amazing. And then they were going to play like all of their catalog, which songs that you don't hear live anymore. Like, there's certain songs that they don't play live anymore, and like, it was amazing. But we get to the first night after I had told Emily not to wear the shirt, and she was looking around, and I'm gonna say 75% of the capacity of this show were wearing Keep Flying merch.
Almost every fucking person we saw, including the band themselves. So they come out, and I look at Nicole, and I was like, fuck them, right? Every single like fucking posers band is wearing their own shirt in different styles. Like, it's fucking, and Emily, literally, you looked over and you were like, me, right? Like, so good. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it was blowing my mind. It really was. Yes, it very much was that for you. Jeez.
We also had talked about in the beginning, before the show even started, we were like, what's our game plan going into this? Are we going to like hang in the back? Or are we going to try to be in the front?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do? We decided that we were chilling on the side for most of the
we're too old. Too old. We're gonna let the kids have this one. We're gonna stand at the back, chill, be adults here.
And then we ended up being right in front.
It happened so slowly. It's like we started at the back, and then with each progressive act, we just kind of moved closer.
Yeah.
Because people would leave, and we'd naturally move and get pushed. Yeah. Because more people would filter in. It just happens. That's how crowds move.
And so because this place is so small, it's very narrow and long.
Yeah.
And then so our faces are right next to one of the amps, one of the speakers. Henry, the lead singer, is right in front of us. The stage is right at your kneecaps. It's literally right at your kneecaps.
Yeah. And so they're they're right there.
Like, we were touching them. Like, Henry reached out his hand at one point, and we were holding his hand. Like, it was amazing. And like, but we're not young anymore. We're not kids. We're not these teenagers that used to do this. Mm-hmm. So obviously the crowd's getting into it. They're all pushing up. My fucking kneecaps were bruised for like a week. like 2 weeks.
Oh my God. The people behind us were pushing. And so there was specifically one girl who was trying to get to the front.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very to be like, look, I'm dead.
Yes.
Like I got a tattoo of yours. I remember she's asked me to tell them.
No, that was another girl. She was very nice. She had a tattoo and she's like, tell them like I got the tattoo. She was trying to get to the front to show that she had gotten the tattoo, which is very cute.
And she was like, it looks like you know them. Can you tell them? Like something like that, which was really sweet.
And that was cute. But there was another girl who just really wanted to be at the front.
Yeah.
I can't remember why. I think she did have a reason, but I don't remember why.
I think she got up to stage dive and then just chilled there.
Didn't want to get off, and then it was really funny. And then she tried to get down, and everyone's like, "No, you got to be there. You got to jump. That's it. Jump or pick up an instrument." So but she was pushing up behind us and trying to get to the stage, but kept trying to pull me. So I grabbed onto Nicole's belt loops from behind, like we were taking a prom picture. And so I had one hand up going, and then I had like my other hand on Nicole's belt, so that if I got pulled, so did she. So when I got pushed, so did she. And also made sure that she didn't go down because she kept getting pushed over the stage. So I was pulling her back up. Yeah. We were fighting for our lives. Yeah.
And then what ended up,
it was fun though.
It was amazing. Like, I'm glad we did that. Because it was just a great experience. Mm-hmm. However, it felt like for the next couple of days, like we were living underwater.
It felt like I had gotten beat up and thrown in the river. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, it was so bad.
It was like,
I felt like I got beat up with a crowbar.
Because we were right next to the speaker, so our ears were just ringing. Yes. And I couldn't hear anything, and we were so tired.
Yeah, we were the next day, I'm pretty sure we stayed in bed for a long time.
A good hot minute.
We did not.
Oh, part of it, though, was that they were having a breakfast brunch situation.
That's right. So we had to get up.
Yeah.
And get out.
So early.
Yeah, so we did.
And then, so we went back to the Amityville Music Hall. They had kitted it out with like their merch tables and a whole breakfast buffet with bagels and pancakes and all sorts of stuff. And we ate waffles and we ate the food. We hung out. They were specifically selling their coffee. They got their this specialty. Mm-hmm. This coffee company made Keep Flying coffee, 2 different blends. I got the blends. We got our coffee. Mm-hmm. We got merch, all sorts of stuff. And it was just absolutely lovely.
Yeah, it was a nice little breakfast. We got to see the girl from the night before that tried to kill you. Yeah. But it was nice.
And then she came up to me. Nice. She came up to me and she was like, "I love your bag." And I was wearing. I remember she was a lovely Black woman.
Yes.
And I had my Black Lives Matter bag, and she was like, "I really love your bag," and I was like, "I really love you." Yeah, like it was just a great moment. It was really sweet.
I love that about the punk scene in general, because you really can go from being in the pit with somebody who
was actively trying to destroy your face, by act, not on purpose.
We're all just jamming to the same music, but I'm sure I got somebody with my hair a couple times. It gets wild in there. But then you see them the next day or at the next show, and you're like, "Hey, it's you."
Yeah. And then also later that night at the second, we decided to stay in the back, and she passed me and asked me to hold her drink for her while she went to the bathroom.
She said, "I trust you."
And I trust you. And then she handed me her drink and then disappeared for a while.
So she trusted us a lot.
And then I looked over and I saw her standing behind me, and I just casually leaned in with the cup, and she was like, "Oh, thanks.
I forgot."
That was it. Yeah, she forgot. But yeah, so we went home, we chilled, we relaxed, we got ready. Mm-hmm. This time we both, because we knew it was acceptable now.
Yes.
We wore our Keep Flying merch to the show.
Yes.
The next day, and enjoyed the second show in the back.
We stayed in the back by the bathrooms.
Like old ladies.
Yes, with the air conditioning.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was so hot.
So many people. It was summer. It was middle summer. It was fucking hot.
So we found we staked it out, and as soon as it was free, we jumped on it. We were like, this is where we're standing.
Yep. And it was a lot. It was all mostly the same people from the day before. So it was just it was all the same good vibes, and it was just great. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about punk shows too, is that it's a very good sense of community. It's a good, especially when it's small punk.
Yes.
Like big shows, which we've also experienced together, are very different.
Yes. This like small, like intimate, like punk show was very cool.
Yeah, it was great.
It was nice to feel that community again, because it's been so long since live music has been a thing, and so long, even longer since I've been to like a small intimate show. Like
that. Same. Yeah. Because most of the shows that I've gone to have been at Paramount, which is a really big place, so.
And that's like a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
Like it's completely different when you just got like
still the same community and etiquette. Yeah, always applies at punk shows, which is why that shit with that Travis Scott pulled never would have happened at a punk show.
No, it would not. Can we actually talk about that for a second? Yeah. I don't mean to deviate from like what we're doing, but
it's true.
We're talking about punk shows. We're talking about us feeling like fighting for our lives and shit like that. I need to actually like stay here. I've never for once actually felt like my life was in danger at a punk show. Mm-hmm. During this show, actually, at the Keep Flying show, while we were in the middle of this person was behind us, like trying to pull me away from Nicole. Like it was a lot. And yet I fell during that. Like I remember I had my hands on Nicole and I let go for a second. And I fell backwards. And I remember going down, like had my hands up, going down, and literally I barely hit the floor before someone pulled me immediately back to my feet. Yep. And Nicole had already turned around, like before she could even reach down to get me, somebody else had already helped me up. Like it was naughty. I was barely there.
Because that's what you do.
When someone falls, you pick them up, period.
End of story.
Like in the pit, always, like first rule.
Yeah.
So like the idea that a concert would happen and become so overrun that people would like literally die.
Yeah. Do you know what I've seen at a punk rock show that's never happened? It happened just a few months ago. There was a lovely girl who was in a wheelchair, and they picked her up to crowd surf her for her favorite band.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most beautiful, like I actually teared up. Because it was the whole crowd was going absolutely nuts. That's what you do at a punk show.
I've seen at least 2 wheelchair surfers.
Yeah, 100%. That was my first time ever seeing that. But like I've never in my entire life felt so common. Yeah, I've never in my life felt like I was in danger at a punk show.
Absolutely not. Every time I've ever fallen, someone has picked me back up. Like the idea that I could fall and someone around me would not pick me back up. It's not fucking punk, y'all.
And
about that.
If there is a douchebag in the crowd, they will immediately get removed.
Because there's people who are watching the pit. Which is, I can't not think about it. Okay, I have to address it. There was a My Brother and Me episode where they read a WikiHow article about how to mosh. And I showed it to Nicole because it was really funny. And they make fun of it because clearly none of these brothers have ever like been in a mosh pit or been anywhere where there is a mosh pit, because they're making fun of things that like, at one point he's like, when will I know the moshing is about to happen? And they're like, a circle will form, or like there will be like people will move out of the space, or the lead singer will like will tell you
it's a call to arms. Yeah,
will tell you it's time. And they were making fun of that, and they were like, Jeremy Slipknot, I'm Jeremy Slipknot. clear space, start the jumping. And it was so funny, is it's not far off, because they really will be like, clear space. I'm like,
it's time to pick it up, circle pit. Like, it's so true. It's so good.
Form a pit, make a pit. Like they do. That singer will tell you when it's time. I'm Jeremy Slipknot. And one of the other things was like, there's people on the perimeter of the pit who will keep everybody safe. And they're like, who are these people who are like, I am the arbiter of the pit? And it's like, that's true. They do. They stand there and they protect the rest of the crowd from the pit.
Because it's not something that you go into it being like, that's going to be my job tonight. No, it's who you are as a person. Yeah. You get accidentally chosen.
Yes. And then there's been times when they're all linking arms like to hold the pit together so that people who don't want to be in the pit aren't getting hit and like pushed. Because it's consensual. It's all about consent. If you want to be in the pit, you are in it. If you are not, you're not. And there's a barrier.
There is.
Around where a human barrier. People volunteer for that role in the moment.
Yeah.
And so it is a very loving thing. It's very nice, but like the pit stops here with me. Like, and they were making fun of it because it does sound fucking
It
silly.
does. The when they were reading
But
the
it's
WikiHow
so
rules,
true.
you got to look up this WikiHow because I did after I listened to the episode.
So funny.
And I was reading it, and they were all of those things are true, even though they sound so bizarre.
It sounds so wild. Like, I get why, and it was so funny. If you do go to rock concerts, please listen to this episode of My Brother and Me, because it was so funny.
You'd be like, oh my God, you're right, that does happen.
But it does. Like, and Nicole and I are very familiar with the concert going, the shows, the punk shows in general.
Which brings us to that really stupid fucking, when I was Googling the whole, like, is it the thing that you don't wear the t-shirt?
That's right.
There is an AP article, Alternative Press. Some guy wrote an article, it was like the 12 show commandments is what it's called. And it was not even, I remember you thought it was wild, the year of when this was written.
I thought this was going to be like 2002.
2014.
Too old.
Rule number 1 was, thou shalt not call it a concert.
Who cares? Are you really policing people's language to the point where you're like, it's not a concert, it's a show? Ew.
Like then they defined concert as like the thing that your parents go to, let's say in an arena. If it's not in an arena, it's called a show. And I was just like, can you just shut the fuck up and let people call it a concert?
Like, this is the guy that shows up on who like comes with you. It's like a friend who's bringing a friend, and he comes with, and then he ends up like going with you guys, and it's like a total douche the whole time, and you're like, God, you suck, you fucking nerd.
He prefaced the article too by saying, I've been going to shows for 2 decades, 4 times a week, so that did math on how many shows they've been to in their lifetime.
Fucking cool, man.
These rules are gospel. You cannot debate them. I will not be taking any questions. This is it. And we were like,
that's so weird.
It is weird. It's
also,
not punk rock, and it's weird.
To be like, these are the rules of punk rock.
The whole fucking point of punk rock is to go against rules. Like, what the fuck?
So to say these are the rigid rules of punk rock is absolutely fucking wild.
It's so contradictory.
So you're already starting off on the wrong foot, and I'm already making fun of you. But okay.
Then it proceeds to tell you that the second rule is not wearing the t-shirt of the band you are going to see to the show. It states specifically that, of course, buy merch, but you can't wear it to the show. The shirt of the band. If you already have one, don't wear it. Buy the merch at the show and then put it on, I guess, is okay. But like, you can't already show up to the show wearing it, which is, I've always thought that was a thing. Emily did not know this. It's wild. Another one of the rules that I thought was really fucking stupid was you can't listen to the band you are going to see on the way to go see them.
Yes.
Wasn't that a weird one? Like, and I remember a couple years ago, I went to a show and I met up with some friends there, and I told them, I was like, yeah, I'm really stoked to see Hot Rod Circuit because they were reuniting and they're one of my favorites. I listened to the album all the way on the way here to get myself hyped up, and I got made fun of by them for it. They were like, you can't do that. And I was like, what do you mean I can't do that? Of course I can do that.
Here it is. I found it. The 10 commandments of show.
Yeah, the 10 show commandments.
Okay, so we'll start. Thou shalt not call it a concert. Thou shalt not wear the t-shirt of the band you're going to see to the show. Which, again, not something that I had ever heard. Like, I absolutely wore the t-shirt of the bands that I was going to see. For us, it was actually like, there was a shitty element to it. There was like, we'd wear like the oldest shirt. So like, if I was going to see a band that I had seen a bunch of times, I would wear like the first shirt I got. So like, it wouldn't be something you could find at the merch table, essentially. Like, it'd be like,
oh, look at me, I've been a fan for a really long time.
It's like that kind of shit. So it's still gross, but it wasn't like, don't wear the band shirt, you nerd. Like, that was not it. Like, there was no one ever said anything like that to me. It was absolutely wild. So maybe I got made fun of and didn't know it. Maybe that's possible, but like,
it's wild to me.
No one said shit to me. 3 is thou shalt not listen to the band you're about to see on the way to the show. And you said people like made fun of
Yeah,
you?
they did. My friends made fun of me when I told them that.
It's so weird.
And he prefaces it. He also says in there that you can listen to them in the days leading up.
Or like the same day, but can't listen, not on the way, the car ride there.
Yeah. Which such a dumb fucking thing to tell people not to do.
I mean, like, I guess some people don't want to do that because they like want to, you know, not have the soundtrack idea in their head when they hear it live for the first time. Maybe that's something that feels like a personal preference.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
It is absolutely a personal preference. It should be. And then a lot of these rules are very common sense. Like, duh, why the fuck do you have to write them down?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thou shalt spend disposable income at the merch table before the bar. Buy merch before you spend money at the bar. Okay. Again, though, like, if you don't have a lot of money to spend, like, get yourself a soda instead of getting a keychain at the merch table. Like, again, it's also, there are some of these rules that are a little classist.
Yeah, this is again, classist.
It's punk rock, yo. Like,
we're all poor.
You cannot be like, spend all of your money at the merch table before you go to the bar. Like, maybe I only have $10, Derek.
But also, like, if you do, of course you're going to spend money at the merch table.
If I have the money, duh.
Yeah. God, it's
and then here's the next one. Thou shalt always tip.
Fucking obvious.
Duh.
Shut the fuck up, guy.
Duh. Always tip your people. I don't know. He seems like a Derek.
It'd be hilarious if it is Derek. Like it's Zach, actually.
The next one is thou shalt not yell Freebird. Again,
no one under the age of like 45 does that.
And this was another that I was like, this article was written when? 2014?
Like
Freebird?
But if you do, we all find it funny, to be honest. I've heard it.
It's not. It's dumb. It's just dumb. And then the next one is thou shalt appreciate the opening bands. Okay, listen, not every opening band is going to be your taste, but I understand, like, you need to stand there and like you need to like clap and like, you know, just be there like a person. Like, don't actively be a dickhead to the band that's performing.
Yes, because we went to a show together where we were not fans of one of the opening bands.
Yes.
And we were to ourselves.
Yes.
Joking about it. Yes. And obviously we weren't doing it loud enough for anyone to hear. And we weren't but we still clapped for them.
And we still clapped for them because they just did a thing and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like, and we understand that.
Absolutely.
Not every band has to be your cup of tea.
Yeah.
This is very like, give them your full attention, even if you hate them. It's like, that's a little much. It's a little much.
It's still, and it's asking people, I think there's one part in the actual rule where he says something about like, if there's a clapping part, do the clapping part. If there's
it's this part.
Yeah.
It's this next one. The next rule, thou shalt not be too cool for school. And so it's like, you have to clap essentially.
Which to me is so funny because you're telling people not to be too cool for school while writing an article about rules for punk rock.
Yeah. It says, I will say though, if you think you're too cool to clap along in a part to a song or clap when a song ends, get the fuck out. Okay. So like, don't be so uptight, I say, as I've written 10 commandments for show going.
That I will not be discussing. These are not up for debate.
These are not up for debate. Shut up. I'm right. You're wrong. Number 8 is thou shalt not be too cool for school. Just my guy, my dude.
Shot yourself in the foot on that one.
You already done did it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we can just move on from that. The next one is thou shalt respect security. Like,
obvious.
Why
do you have to tell people that?
You shouldn't have to tell people
we already know. You don't need to tell me that at all.
And then the last one is thou shalt respect the venue. Again,
duh. What's his name? There, it's at the top. I think it's at the very top of the article. It's Zach.
Scott,
even worse.
Sorry to all the Scotts out there, but it's a shitty name.
Derek, Zach, Scott, you're all bros.
Scott.
Dollars to donuts is a cishet white man.
One of the lines in the beginning is, my first Warped Tour was likely before most of you were born.
Oh my fucking God. I need to find Scott. You, Scott, and I need to like We need to have a conversation.
Yeah, there are no rules to punk rock, you dickhead. So like,
also, like, as a veteran scene goer, I don't go around telling people that I'm a veteran scene goer to try to get. There's no scene points are not a thing.
So weird. My first Warped Tour was before you were born. Stop.
No, it's just, it's awful.
It's weird. Anyway, let people like what they like. Let people wear their shit.
Yeah.
Like, just don't give a shit. Like, can you just let people live?
Back to the topic.
Yeah.
So after the second show, Emily had one more full day in New York.
Yes.
And I wanted to take her back into Manhattan because her last experience was awful. So we went back into Manhattan, and I took her to my favorite spot is the East Village. If you've ever been in the East Village, you know why. It's fucking awesome. We found pho, which I had never eaten before.
Yes.
Which is wild because it's very available to me.
Yes, wild that she lives in New York and had not eaten pho before. But I had been missing pho because I lived in Atlanta, where I had access to really good pho because it's a pretty big hub airport. So we have a lot of good food around Atlanta. And so I was very used to it. Then we got to Arizona and there's no pho out here, and the little there is fine. It's not what I'm used to. And so when I was there, I was like, oh my god, they have pho. Holy shit.
Yes. There were two very specific witchy stores that you wanted to go to.
Yes.
So we went to the first one.
Man, I wish I could remember the name of them.
Catland was the one in Brooklyn. The other one I cannot remember the name of, but that was the one in the East Village. And then we walked around the block and found the pho place. Yeah. Which was a traditional, owned by Vietnamese people, and they were lovely, and the pho was fucking incredible.
Oh my god.
It was one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth.
So good.
I ordered everything.
Nicole ordered like everything off the menu was wild because she didn't understand how big pho was. I was like, it's a lot of food. And she was like, yeah, I get it. And I was like, no, it's like a big soup. It's like a big soup.
Suck it though.
It's like your face.
It's my face.
And she was like, yeah, I get it.
No, and I ordered like a giant appetizer too that I just got so full. And then I also ordered...
then the soup came and she was like, oh my god, I fucked up.
Yes, but it was really good. And then I also ordered the Vietnamese coffee that I had never had before, which was we've talked about this on Dilly Dally. We've talked about coffee before. We're coffee connoisseurs. Holy shit.
So
Vietnamese coffee is wild.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so wild. Yeah. And then we got on a train to go to Brooklyn to go to Catland. Yeah. And Catland was lovely. There was a moment where I was looking at a couple of things on display and they were set up specifically for your star sign. And we were the only two people in the store because it's COVID and they had restrictions on how many people could be in the store at one time. And I said across the way to you, which was not that far, you were like 5 feet away from me. I said, you're an Aries, right? And the guy at the counter, the person who was the employee of the store was like, how the hell did you know that?
So Nicole just scared the shit out of this person.
We're in a witch store and I just yelled out, you're an Aries, right?
I was like, how did you know?
And I was like, oh no, I was talking to my friend. And it was just really great.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of cool stuff. I got my own tarot deck. I got a cute velvet bag. You got some,
I got some
oils and things like that. Sorry, I'm like rubbing my eye. That was lovely. One of the biggest reasons we were in Brooklyn was because you got to see your cousin Natalie, who you hadn't seen since the Women's March of 2018.
Yes, I went to
2017.
2017. She used to live in DC, and so I went to go visit her at the Women's March, and we did that together, which was really fun. And went back to, I remember soaking our feet after that because wow, holy shit, that was a walk. But yeah, and I had not seen her since then, so it was really nice to reunite in Brooklyn. At her rooftop,
her new apartment that they had literally just moved into,
boxes everywhere. But we were able to go up like onto the roof,
which is cool,
and kind of look out over the city.
Nice
and that
skyline.
It was beautiful.
I love Brooklyn.
That was I gotta say, like New York still is not like a place I would go tomorrow, but like, damn, that was a nice little, that moment was very nice. I couldn't have asked for a better way to reintroduce you to New York.
so that you could appreciate it the way that it's supposed to be, not 7 months pregnant in the middle of January.
It was nice to end on like a Brooklyn sunset. Like,
yeah, it was gorgeous. And then we got our train back to Long Island, and I woke up the next morning sick as a dog.
Because here's the thing. I gave this analogy to Nicole when she was sick. When we first started Evan in daycare, what they tell you when you first start your kid in daycare is, hey, your kid's immune system is garbage because they've spent every day alone in your house and have not had any introduction to the outside world and other human beings. When they come into contact with them, they will be sick. They will get very sick. It's literally just like gonna happen because they're just different bacteria than the bacteria they're used to. So it's going to happen. So this equivalent of me putting Evan in daycare was putting us, specifically Nicole, in the middle of a punk rock concert.
Yeah, even though we were vaxxed and masked and all that stuff, I'm going to say it wasn't COVID. That's very important. It was not COVID. It was just a cold.
It was a cold.
Because I was out in the world after a year and a half.
After being, because we all took quarantine and stuff very seriously.
Oh yeah, we were extremely serious.
Have not been out and stuff. Nova in particular has a heart condition. I also don't have a great body in general.
I'm pretty sure we all have either ourselves or our partners or family members that were a part of our pod that have serious comorbidities that if one of us did contract it because we were dumb. Yeah.
It gave it to them, it could be fatal. So we were all very good about staying inside. And so this was the first time we'd been out. I didn't have a reaction because I had, like as mentioned, put my son in daycare. So when he got sick, I got sick.
Yeah, you were sick the week before you came.
Yes.
So then when I woke up the day Emily was leaving, you took me to urgent care. They did the test. It came back negative. And then I took you, I should not have done this because I was so wiped out. I took you on the train instead of driving because I could not drive. Took the train into the city. Then from the city, took the Jersey Transit to Newark, dropped you off in Newark. We had an emotional tearful goodbye. Yeah, we cried. Like, we were sad. We, it was the first time we'd seen each other since we got together when we came out to Phoenix. And then I went back home. And that night I woke up like several times with like a really high fever. And then I went to the hospital just to make sure. Definitely. It was bronchitis. So
she had gotten tested earlier. She had already known it wasn't COVID.
But like I knew that that particular COVID test wasn't the one that was, it was like
it was the rapid test.
Yeah.
So just in case it was wrong, then you started second guessing the rapid test.
Yeah. Cause I am slightly a hypochondriac. Just a little bit.
A little bit more than slightly, audience. She's lived with me for a while. I can guarantee you it's
I just have a weak immune system and I get sick pretty easily. I'm just susceptible. But because I have full-blown panic. Yeah. I think I'm dying all the time.
So that was our New York trip.
That was New York
home and was very, very sad to be with that Nicole. And a couple of weeks later is when I called and was like, oh my God, I'm dying. And then she came out here.
Yeah, I left. After Emily left, I had about a month where I went to a shit ton of Mets games, which I'd already been doing that summer. And said goodbye to like some friends and saw some family and did all that. And then like the first week of September, I flew out here to Phoenix. Yeah. And it was wonderful. Now we're together all the time.
All right. So that was our first part. So let's choo-choo into Hyperfixation Station. This Hyperfixation Station is Nicole's.
So weird talking about I don't know if I have a lot to talk about, but yeah. So the thing
weird.
The thing that I am hyperfixating on right now is Animal Crossing, because the new update just dropped like 3 weeks ago.
New Animal Crossing update. They basically made a whole new game.
Yeah, and it's dope. And like everybody else in the whole world, I was drawn to Animal Crossing during the pandemic, and I was so hardcore into it for months in the beginning of the pandemic 2020. And then I just kind of forgot that it existed for a really long time. And then I picked it up again. Yeah, like it happened to everybody. And then I picked it up again and started a whole new island after I had spent months building this island and all this. And I was just like, I yeeted that, started over, and then again dropped it and forgot about it for a really long time. Emily had also restarted her island and came to my new island and dropped off a whole lot of stuff months ago.
Yes, because I was like, but what if I need all 3 different colors of this dress? So I dropped off all of when I restarted my island, I took everything out of my inventory and dropped it off at Nicole's island.
And when we say everything, we mean everything. Half of my island, and if you've played this game, which you probably have, you know how big these islands are. An entire half of my island was all covered.
It took so long to get everything over there. I regretted it every time I went.
I remember specifically when the update happened and I had left my Switch at home. And then Nova and I went to Vegas and to see each other and to celebrate our anniversary and Nova's birthday. And they proposed to me, which is a whole other story. Yay. And I asked Nova to pack the Switch in their luggage so that I could take it with me. And then when I got back from Vegas, I immediately turned my Switch down, walked into your room and handed you my Switch and just said, take everything away.
Go get your shit from my island. And I was like, oh, finally. Because like I had wanted to use the update dropped and now I wanted the stuff from my island. Because I moved all of the stuff. I restarted my island. I was like, okay, cool. This is great. I'm going to play all the time now that I restarted my island. And then I just
you didn't have anything.
I fell off the island.
Yeah.
I just stopped. I asked you to open it because I did for a while. I started to move my stuff over and then I just stopped and then I didn't. And then the update happened and I was like, I want my stuff.
So then I think it literally, it was like 6 hours. You had my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It took a long time for me it was just back and forth. But
hey, Animal Crossing.
I can't with the
going to other people's islands.
The cutscenes.
We're not talking about going to a Nook Miles Island with your ticket. We're not talking about going to Harb's Island. We're talking specifically about visiting your friends' islands. Yes.
That's something they should have updated.
Make it fucking faster.
I wish they had updated that. The fact that it interrupts every single person to be like, wait, someone's leaving. You must watch this animation. Wild.
And you can't do it. You're just frozen there. You can't do anything.
No. And if you're doing anything while they're trying to leave, it can crash the game.
Yeah. It's
so like
bonkers.
It's bananas. Anyway, but the new update dropped.
Yeah. So when I originally...
Do you want to go over the new update?
Yeah. So, I don't know anything about the new update because my goddamn island, Isabel, I got a problem with you. Stop telling me I need flowers. I'm stuck on 2 stars because you keep telling me I need flowers and I keep putting flowers down. I need KK Slider to come to my island before I can get any of the new shit.
Yeah, there's a good amount of stuff that Nicole can't access yet, which is very annoying. But what all of the updates were, they added Cap'n to the island, which means you can go to Cap'n Islands, where you get gyroid fragments and you can bury them and water them and they grow into gyroids, which are just like little guys that make music. If you play music next to them, they play music with it and dance. It's cute. They're pretty cute. I thought I wouldn't care, but I care a little bit. And then you can Happy Home Paradise is what it's called.
That's the DLC.
Yes. And you do have to pay for that, but you can design vacation homes for other villagers. So like you have access to all of your stuff. You can build outside the same way you build inside. So like you press down and you can just pick stuff up and move it.
Yeah.
Which is dope. Amazing. And so you have access to all the stuff like without worrying about money. You can just flip through the catalog and be like, this is cute and decorate the room.
Yeah.
And then they give you new ways to decorate the room, so you can add partition walls and columns,
the ceiling
stuff, and then you can take all that stuff once you learn it in Happy Home Paradise. You can take it back to your island and design your own house that way, and your villagers' homes, even the outside of your villagers' homes.
Oh my god, I can't wait to do that!
I know. Also, your villagers will come visit you now if you're at home,
which you couldn't do before. You could only go to their houses. Yes. No one could come to yours.
And only if they were home. Yeah. Now you can and they can invite you to their houses too. They can come over and be like, hey, you want to come see my house? And like,
That's so cool.
you go over to their house and hang out. Like they'll just, if you're in your house, they'll just show up and be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I would love all this stuff, but Isabel won't let me.
You should be able to do that part at least.
Nope.
How long do you stay in your house? Do you like hang in your house?
Never.
Okay, well, yeah. It took a while for it to happen to me too, because I don't really hang in my house very often.
That's another thing about this time around playing Animal Crossing. I am doing it the right way.
Same.
I am very guilty of when I picked it up in the beginning, I found out you could time travel.
Yes.
Essentially.
And I did the same thing.
And I time traveled and just cheated all the time. I just kept doing that.
But it does ruin the game.
It does.
Eventually.
Yeah. I'm having fun. Actually, like I'm doing the little things to get the Nook Miles.
Yeah, the daily things.
I'm doing the hot items now. Like I'm actually going around and foresting for all the ingredients I need to make the hot items, like to get the bells. Some of them are a lot of fucking bells.
Yeah. So like it makes it more fun.
Yeah. I just am stuck in a fucking holding pattern until KK Slider comes to my island, because those other updates where you get to go to Harv's Island now and you can build stalls for all of the people.
Yes. Harv's Island, you get to build stalls. So you always have, they have, I can't remember her name. She was from other games. She's a psychic. She is there. Katrina. And then there's, you have the couple from the game, from the wedding. Yeah. And they can customize things that you couldn't customize before, like the lighthouse and things like that.
That's awesome.
That came just standard on your island. You used to have to trade to get those. They can customize that. You have Tortimer, who can access your home storage. So if you want them to customize something that's in your home storage, you can talk to Tortimer, get your thing, and then talk to the couple, get it customized. And then you've got Red's on the island. Leaf is there. And then you've got Kix, who I don't care that much about. I don't wear bags.
I love Kix. Kix is like my favorite person who comes to my island. And Sahara.
And Sahara is the other one that's there.
I love Sahara because I'm all about one of my favorite parts of the game. And the thing that I'm obsessing about right now, because I finally got my upstairs, is I love decorating the rooms and doing all sorts of different things. Like each of them, like having a kitchen, having a bathroom, having a guest room, having a bedroom, having like so that's one of my favorite parts about Animal Crossing is like getting to just, you know, because you get so many fucking random pieces of furniture.
Me too.
You get the DIYs are I'm fishing for pearl. Last time I was playing earlier, I was doing going in the water and fishing. I want pearl. I need more pearls because I want to make another mermaid couch because I got that recipe. Yeah. And I have one already and I have my shell bed. So now I want my bedroom to be all mermaid and shit. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to have a mermaid bedroom. I'm excited about it. And then now I'm obviously just, you know, going to all sorts of places and making the hot items and doing that stuff so I can pay off this one to get the final bedroom, which is downstairs, or the final room, which is downstairs. All while trying to get KK Slider to come to my fucking island. I'm not kidding you. Every time I do an island eval, every single day, it's a 2-star island. And she says to me, you know what would make this place really great? Flowers every day.
Oh my God.
It's never any other criticism. It's never like, maybe you should put some attractions. Maybe you should. It's always flowers.
Need more flowers.
I went over to your island and got a shit ton of flowers. I've planted in like 9 different locations now because it's been it's been like 10 days since I really started caring. Yeah. And every day it's the same goddamn thing. I don't know what to do. Isabel's broken. The game is not letting me get KK Slider because I cannot do any of these updates until KK Slider comes to my island. And I'm very upset about it. But yeah, I mean, but I'm obsessed with it right now. It very much feels like I'm back in beginning of pandemic 2020 where like all I care about is playing Animal Crossing. Yeah. I just cannot wait until Evan's nap time so I can play. Like I can't wait till Evan goes to bed so I can play. Time. Which I need to press pause on it at night and finish Dragon Age 4 so we can discuss that, because I'm literally almost there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so close. I'm like 4 quests away from the final. Like, I have the option to do the final quest. But you're telling me that the couple quests that I have left are important.
So you got to do.
So I got to do that. So I do need to take time in the next.
We can finally
talk
about the full Dragon Age,
which I also have managed. I have all of my theories. I have all of my like guesses that I've done so far, so that I don't know if they're right. And we've talked outside of the podcast, obviously, about like how I feel about certain characters and who I think is going to be in the next one. I have not seen any of the trailers. I've not seen like any of the spoilers. Like, so I can't wait, because I want to. I know that the Dragon Age trailer, you and Aaron were freaking out about it. Yes. And I want to freak out about it too. And then we'll do another Dilly and Dally where we talk about my playthrough of Dragon Age, and then we can really full on discuss. Yes. Which I'm excited about. But yeah, Animal Crossing. I think the only other thing that I'm hyper fixated on, because it's not that big of a thing, is like it's my daily life. Like, I'm hyper fixated on Evan. On Evan. Evan is my hyperfixation.
That's fair.
Which is, I mean, because it's not my job. I don't like saying it's my job, because it's not a job at all. It's like, I don't know. It's not a job. It is, but it isn't.
It is, but it isn't. I don't know. It's your day to day.
Yeah. You know? I hang out with a 3.5-year-old. Yeah. All the time. He's my best friend. I'm not lying. Like, we literally do everything together. It's great. It's so fun. So yeah, that's my very short conversation.
I think it was longer than we thought it was.
Not a whole lot's going on in our lives right now, but at least for me, that I'm like hyperfixating on.
And it's fair. You don't have to keep undercutting it. It's a good one. Like, Animal Crossing is important.
It is.
Like,
I'll let you guys know if I ever get Kiki Slacker to come to my house.
We will update with you.
It's broken. So yeah, we're pulling out of Hyperfixation Station.
Heading to Phoenix.
Yep, where we currently are.
All right. So for this part of the segment, we wanted to talk about another trip we went on. Not to make this a travel podcast, but if
we did, Emily wouldn't be mad about it.
If we did, I wouldn't be mad about it. So we went from Phoenix. We drove up to Sedona. And we actually stayed in an area called Munns Park, which is a little bit north of Sedona, between Sedona and Flagstaff.
Like smack dab in the middle of that.
Yeah. So we were able to see a bunch of stuff while we were up there, including the Grand Canyon. So we wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. So also important to know, you finally got to see your mom.
Yeah, I got to see my mom after like 2 years. I'm not in the frame at all. I got to see my mom after like 2 years because of the pandemic and everything. I had not been able to see her. So that was like, it was just really nice to be able to see her again. I cried a lot.
I crashed Emily's family vacation, essentially, because I was going to be here during, watching Evan during when they'd already planned this vacation like a year ago.
But we wanted her there, so it was fine.
Yeah, it's not like I wasn't wanted. I don't mean it like that. But I did essentially crash her family vacation. It was just great.
Yeah.
The Grand Canyon, when I told my grandmother that I was going, she was like, tell me what you really think of it, because I think it's really boring and underwhelming. No, it fucking isn't.
Yeah, we both agree that was wrong. It was really good. The Grand Canyon itself was majestic.
Beautiful. Oh my God.
So let's start with the first day. So the first day we were there was Sedona.
The Vortexes.
So we went to the Energy Vortexes. We didn't get to all of them. I think there were 2. Yeah, we didn't get to.
We drove by Cathedral Rock and got to see it. And then the second one, you guys stopped on that bench and just stayed there
'cause
while
we were not walking to the other end of it, and honestly, that's where I felt like we needed to stay, and that's fine.
The whole place. I remember when we asked the lady where we parked.
Yes.
Like, how do we get to the Energy Vortex? She was like, "You're in it.
You're in it." Yeah, it's like a radius thing. But an energy vortex, essentially what it is in Sedona, there are a bunch of different areas that are labeled as energy vortexes. And what that means is there's just a good amount of spiritual energy. There are twisted juniper trees that grow in a weird way. And it's said by indigenous tribes, as well as like people of spirituality, that these centers have a lot of like spiritual energy in them. If you believe in that kind of stuff, that's essentially what it is. If you don't believe in that kind of stuff, it's gorgeous.
It's still beautiful.
Beautiful. These
like,
spots are beautiful.
As a person that's not into any of that stuff, like I live with someone who is. Yes. I will say, as like not a non-believer, it's not that I don't believe in it. It's just that I just don't experience it in my life. The first one we went to was Bell Rock. Mm-hmm. And I will say, like, I did feel like a very, not just the fact that it's beautiful, because it's fucking gorgeous, go. Mm-hmm. Also, I did feel like a really, like, serene kind of, like, vibe. Mm-hmm. Every single place we went to was very, like, it's so hard, unless you're there, it's hard to describe. You can just, it's an aura.
It feels like a buzzing.
Yeah, it does. It's a very, but it not in like a creepy way or like a, this is freaking me out kind of way. It was a very calm, serene kind of way. Mm-hmm. My favorite was the one that I absolutely was like desperate to go to. And we obviously were going to go to it, but like, it was the one that I wanted to go to the most, was the Chapel of the Holy Cross, which is designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. Mm-hmm. It is a Catholic church built into the side of a mountain. Yes. With like, is that a juniper tree in it? Yes. It is. Yeah. It is a like twisty, dope juniper tree. Go to my social medias. I've posted pictures of it. It's fucking beautiful. Mm-hmm. We like donated to the place, the church,
we
the
light
chapel.
Candles, because you can go in, you can light candles for your loved ones and things like that. Catholicism, one step away from witchcraft. That's it.
It is.
You go in, you light candles for people. I was like, this is witchy as fuck.
Yeah. Went into the gift shop that's downstairs. Got Emily a really cute green mug. I got a sticker. Got some like cute little religious bracelets, because it was literally the only thing that didn't have like a saint or like a full-on cross on it, but it was like a rosary bracelet almost. In everyone's favorite colors. I just happened to guess your mom's, which was really funny.
Yeah, like I got your mom a blue one. That's okay.
And then Evan and I, when you guys were sitting on the bench on the bench. Yeah, you guys were on the bench with this absolutely stunning view of just overlooking all of Sedona and all of these mountains. And it's in Red Rocks Park. I think there's multiple
Red Rocks Park. Yeah.
But this was specifically called Red Rocks Park.
Yeah. And this bench, there's like a path to walk down, and then this bench was like kind of off the path, where you could sit and look out over the vista. And my mom and there were all these twisted juniper trees around. My mom and I just kind of stopped there. We were like, this feels good. We'd been walking for a minute. We were both tired. We were like, this is good.
And then Emily was like, you guys can go on. Well, I thought you were catching up. Mm-hmm. And so Evan and I literally walked for like 20, 30 minutes. Just me and a toddler walking on these trails on a mountainside. It wasn't really like a mountain. There was no danger. Mm-hmm. Not like the Grand Canyon. It was, but we were just having fun. There were people walking on the trail with us. He was saying hi to everyone. It was so fucking cute. He was having fun jumping on all the rocks, like getting dirty. And at one point when we met up with you guys finally, you guys saw the bunny. The bunny was just eating berries off of this bush. It was really cute. Yeah. We saw the bunny.
We were like just sitting out there watching looking over the beautiful like the scenery, watching the sun go down.
Yeah.
And like there's just little bunny come out, start eating fruit. We were like, look at little bunny. It was magical.
It really was. Fireman carried Evan back to the car, which was really a video of that. It's hilarious. And then important to note that every single one of us, me, Emily, Emily's mom, Emily's partner, Nathan, and her son Evan, all of us were sick.
Mm-hmm.
With
Not COVID.
Not COVID again. It was just colds at various stages of this cold. Like I was just coming off of it. Nathan had just gotten it the day before we left, or the morning of us leaving. You got it a couple of days into it. Mm-hmm. Your mom also got it like right as she was leaving. Mm-hmm. So Nathan and Evan was full on in it during the vacation. Yeah. It was
it was interesting.
Even though that happened, and even though there were some parts of the trip that you had, all of us had felt anxiety about like a bunch of things. Overall, it was a wonderful experience. The Grand Canyon.
Yeah, so we went to Sedona the first day, or technically the second day, and then the next day after that was Grand Canyon Day. So we got up fairly early, and then we drove all the way out there. It wasn't that far. It was like
hour and a half
to get out to the Grand Canyon. And we were like, there's gonna be stuff for him to do there, my 3.5-year-old. There's not. Anyone going to the Grand Canyon,
don't bring
stop on your way in. If you have a kid with you, stop on your way in. There's a Yavapai, I think is the...
It was closed, though. I found out the purple line is closed.
No. Oh, you can stop on your way in.
Oh.
Yeah, you can stop on your way in at this playground. It's on the outside. It's not like it's not when you get in the Grand Canyon proper. Mm-hmm. On the outside, stop there, let your kid run off their energy, and then go to the Grand Canyon. That's what we should have done. We did not know that. Because there are no playgrounds anywhere in like that area. There's no playgrounds. There's no place for kids to play. There's just not. And then when you go up to the Grand Canyon rim, super cool. There's lots of places where there's just no barrier, nothing, no fence, no nothing. It's just sheer cliff. It's just dive on in.
Like literally, like we're not joking. It's like sheer cliff.
And I have a 3.5-year-old with me who I was very much like, I need a kid leash. I need a kid leash yesterday.
A 3.5-year-old who has a lot of energy and does not like when he's being held back.
Yes, does not like to hold your hand, doesn't like when you're being like when you pick him up to hold him so that doesn't get into stuff, doesn't like that either.
Nope, doesn't want it.
He wants to be in everything.
Yep.
So this was
fair.
so much anxiety. So much anxiety. I thought I was dying. Multiple times.
Yeah. So while we're trying to enjoy this absolutely gorgeous thing, it was very nerve-wracking because we were so worried about so many things.
Evan jumping into the Grand Canyon being the main one. I was very worried that Evan was going to jump into the Grand
obviously
Canyon.
None of us were going to let that happen.
No.
But when you have a mental illness and you're in that moment, there's literally nothing that will convince you otherwise.
No.
So if you have neurodivergencies and you happen to have children, just be prepared at the Grand Canyon.
Postpartum anxiety is a thing.
Yeah.
So it's like constant. I'm always worried that something's going to happen to him. So this was like, oh my God, something's going to happen to him. But we did our best.
Yeah.
And we got fudge at the top. That was great.
And ice cream. And we got some nice, I got another sticker for my water bottle. We rode the shuttle bus, which I think is wonderful because they do charge you like $35 to get into this park if you have a private car.
But you can ride
the shuttles for free that takes you to different parts of the rim. We're specifically on the Arizona South rim of the Grand Canyon. It's because there are other parts of you can get access it from Vegas and
so
you can access it from other places. We did not hike down into the canyon. No. We stayed on the rim.
I would love to eventually do that. I think I would actually probably enjoy that more.
Yeah, we'll go back by ourselves. Probably, or without children.
Yeah, because going with a 3.5-year-old was cool, but damn.
I do this. The bus system is really wonderful. We did get to see that sunset. We stayed that long. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, we stayed and watched the sunset in the Grand Canyon.
Packed lunches and had food and all that stuff. It was good. I really liked it. Mm-hmm. I had a great time.
It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Just stunning. Yeah, Grandma, you were wrong. And I told her so when I talked to her yesterday, and she was like, okay.
And then the next day we had a rest day, and then we went to the next day after that. We went to Arizona.
Arizona. Me God.
Okay, so Arizona is it's a conservatory for animals. And when you drive through it, it is. When you drive through it, they have like sections where you drive through and there's like wolves and things that are like wandering around.
Yeah, they have fenced off areas that it's like half of it is like safari park where you drive through and see animals. There's bears.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple different types of bears. There were bison. There
Mm-hmm.
were a few different types of wolves.
Mm-hmm.
There were deer.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. So that's the drive-through portion.
Yeah.
Then
you get there and you get out, and then you can walk up in there. Like you go into an area that's like they've got like it's almost like a zoo.
Yeah.
But I would say the enclosures are a little bit more free range than a zoo. Like a zoo is a lot smaller so that you can always see the animal. These were a little bigger, so it was a little hard to see the animals sometimes. But I mean, that's fine. I would rather than have more space.
I think it was cool that the way they set it up was they had signs that would say like, if you don't see me, I'm probably in my home. And then they would have the little part that is their home, their den, their nest, whatever. They would have like a little window where you could go and actually, because we got to see the bears all sleeping together.
That was cute.
The jaguars.
Yes, the jaguars.
That was one of the dopest parts because right when we got up to the glass, this jaguar like sat up
sleepily.
It didn't. I don't even think it opened its eyes.
It barely opened them.
And we were literally like right here. Like it was our face and their face just had the glass between them.
And he like sleepily looked up, and Evan ran up and looked at him. And then he like laid down again.
Yeah. And I think Evan got a little scared though.
Yeah, because he was like big cat.
Really freaked out.
Yeah.
A little bit. I think going into this, none of us really knew because we'd never been here before.
Yeah.
We just read what was on the website.
Yeah.
And it said there's a part of it that have surprise animal encounters. And on there,
for anyone else would be like, oh, lovely. What a fun and family enriching thing.
No, because on their website, the way they describe these surprise animal encounters is it could be a giant bird flying around you, or it could be a friendly lizard that just comes up to you. And those are two very terrifying things to me. You literally used these surprise encounters to describe two of the things that I am absolutely terrified of.
Thankfully, the surprise encounters we did see when we first got in there was an albino peacock, which did freak Nicole out. I did warn her that was there.
Oh my God. We were sitting, drinking our hot chocolates, eating a blueberry muffin. I knew it was there. I was aware of it because you had warned me. You texted me.
I did text Nicole. I was like, there's a peacock when you get in here.
It's roaming free.
It is roaming free. Just so you're aware.
But I'm sitting on the bench. Evan's sitting next to me. Emily's sitting next to me. Evan's across from me. We're all sitting on this bench. And all of a sudden, Emily looks over. And on my other side that I'm not paying attention to, she's like, Nicole, the peacock's coming right up on us. And literally it was like right there.
And it was.
And I just I froze and I couldn't move. And I was like, okay, just tell me what's going on. And it like this fucking asshole guy was feeding it French fries.
You're not supposed to feed any of the animals there. There's signs
so
everywhere.
Many
signs everywhere.
So many signs.
Idiots. Don't feed the fucking animals.
Ugh.
Anyway.
The other surprise encounter was awesome.
It was a raccoon.
It was so cute.
The raccoon. That one was cute. Yeah. And then we got to walk around. We got to see otters.
Oh, I loved the otters. There was a
moose.
Elk. Yeah, the elk was really cool. The bear den was really cool. There were oh my God, there were so many animals.
Yeah, there was
like a dope fox that was like, it was a type of red fox that had white fur, which was gorgeous. They had multiple raccoons, like the raccoon that was out hanging out, they brought it back into it. There was like 3 of them. And all the animals had names, and it said the names on the signs, which were all really cute names. Like I thought they were all great. And then we went into the gift shop.
Yeah.
And Evan picked out his snake. Okay, so this is like a cute thing.
There's a huge snake in the gift shop, by the way. Giant snake. I had to be like, Nicole, no. And then she was like, I've seen it already.
Yeah, it was a lot. Something that is a tradition sort of for Evan is that whenever we go to the zoo, because there's a zoo in Phoenix that Emily, you guys have been taking him to since you guys moved here.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken him a couple of times. We have a membership to this zoo. It's fucking amazing. Good job, Phoenix Zoo. We get an animal, a different animal every time. So Evan has a whole menagerie of animals from every time he's gone to the zoo. We got Wolf at the Grand Canyon. We got him there's a bunch of deer at the Grand Canyon. That's important. And so there was a deer stuffed animal in the Grand Canyon gift shop. So we got him and he named him Wolf, which was cute. Yeah. So we were going into the gift shop and we were like, let's pick him out a stuffed animal. And he always gets to pick it out. That's important. He picks it out. So he picks what he wants. And he picked this awesome snake. It's like really, really long. And it's one of those things like those pillows where you can change.
Yeah, you just brush it one way.
When you run your hand over it, changes colors, which is really cool. So we got the snake and it's Sir Hiss.
Yes.
And he like stings you. It's so cute. And then what did we do?
I think the day after that was when we went home.
Yeah, Arizona was, I think, as Nathan described it, better than I expected.
Yes. Yes, better than I expected.
Yeah, which was like, it was cool though. I think obviously the Grand Canyon was my favorite part, but I think like Arizona, the Vortex day that we got to spend together. And then like all the things that we did on this vacation were like really cool. But we also like enjoyed, we'd make dinner with each other. Yeah. We sat outside and talked and, just got to spend time. I got to meet your mom in person for the first time, which was, I love your mom. Mama Julia. She's so dope.
Yeah.
Family bonding for you and your mom, which was lovely.
Yeah. And my mom and my mom and my son.
Yeah, your mom and Evan.
She hadn't seen him since he was like 1 year old, so it was fun.
Yeah,
More.
That's what we call more. She's more.
My mom is more, which is Norwegian for mother's mother.
Mother's mother. I didn't know that. I think you told me that, but I didn't remember that's what it was.
The other one is more far, which is mother's father, and then they flip them for the other side, far more.
Oh my god, that's far. So cute. Far. I want a far.
It's father's father.
So then the last day we were going to drive home, we went to Flagstaff and Evan got to play in this awesome playground that he really liked. And we just got lunch and drove home. And then we had one more day with more before she was flying back.
Another tearful goodbye at the airport.
Yeah, I remember specifically, I asked you if you wanted me to drive because I had gone to pick more up so that you could get out of the car and see your mom and all that stuff. And then I was like, at first you kept saying, no, I'm good. And I was like, the reason I was
like, you don't have to.
Yeah, you were like, you don't have to. And I was like, no, I do because I know exactly what's going to happen.
I'm going to break down and start crying.
Yeah, which you would not have been able to drive.
Yeah, no.
So I'm like glad I did it. But then also what was really funny is I wasn't paying attention. And when I got in the car, we had no gas.
Oh God.
And we literally had like 1 mile left.
Yeah.
In the airport. Barely made it to the Circle K to get gas.
Strange things afoot, indeed.
That Circle K was a goddamn nightmare too. Oh my God. Like I kept having to shut the car off because I thought we were going to die. Like literally run out of gas in the gas station parking lot, which would have been so much. But yeah, I think the only other vacation that's happened in between all of these things that have been going on was me and Nova going to Vegas. But like, that's private. I feel like
that's private.
I feel like that's weird.
Is that like you committed crime?
No. I just mean like, that was because I've been away from my partner for months. It was like we're smack dab in the middle of my time here because I am leaving in just under 3 weeks.
Nicole leaves December 15th.
And it's the day after Thanksgiving right now. So you do the math. I don't fucking know what it is. But and we're anxious about that.
Yes.
Both of us for different reasons, but also the same reasons.
Yes.
So yeah, but me and Nova went to Vegas. It was the first time both of us had been there, and it was their birthday, and there was a lot of stuff happened on that trip that's very personal. So like, I'm gonna keep that to myself. But
that's fair. Nicole's secret Vegas.
But it's been a whirlwind couple months from September to now at the end of November. So many things in our lives have happened. So many things are on the horizon that are just wild that we can't talk about yet, but we'll talk about. You'll all know when they happen.
Super secret.
I think I've learned a lot about myself. It's been a lot of self-discovery on a lot of like mine and Nova's parts, like me being out here, like being away from each other and like all that stuff, like self-discovery. Also, like I'm in a new place that I've never been before. I fucking hate the desert.
That's fair. I do still love it out here a little bit.
I don't. I fucking hate it.
I know.
I hate everything about it. I hate how hot it was. I hate how I hate all the bugs and the fact that there's scorpions and snakes. And
you haven't even seen any of them.
I know. I told Emily specifically if I saw a scorpion, I would be getting on the next flight. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not. It's the equivalent of like if I see a spider in my house, I'm just going to burn the house down. Like that's essentially what it is.
Oh my God.
I have not seen a scorpion. I'm fine. I will say that it's growing up in New York, and I have been other places. I've lived in the South and like, so I've experienced that. Man, Arizona is a whole fucking different entity all on its own. It's wild here.
Yeah. Wild West, baby.
Like literally. Like, and where we are in Arizona, specifically, is not in Phoenix. We're just outside of Phoenix, in the middle of fucking nowhere, literally. You have to drive like at least a half hour to get to anything that I do.
They're building a hospital out here and they're like super hyped about it. It's the first hospital.
Oh yeah, Emily had to take me to the hospital one day because like I did get sick while I was out here.
And we had to drive 30 minutes.
Yep. So don't live here and you're gonna die.
You're gonna die. The desert doesn't want you here.
I also really don't like the people here.
Valid. Neither do I. That's very true.
They're mean.
People here are pretty mean.
It's not mean. It's more like they just have no regard for anybody.
No, just care about themselves and literally no one else.
That's it. And then everything about like the gun laws in the state are scary. So like I cannot. You've said to me so many times, like, Nicole, you can't be fucking doing that. People have open carry here.
Dude, like, she will fuck with people. Like, she has road rage.
Like, I'm a New Yorker.
New York road rage. But out here in Arizona, like, people carry guns and shit. You can't do that.
I had to keep myself in check so many times. But good things have happened. Like, I got to see Bayside while I was out here. We went to see 4 Years Strong and got to see John because he's the tour manager. So we got to see our friend, who's the saxophone player, Keep Flying. And I got to go see Banners in Phoenix a few weeks ago, which was fucking amazing. And
all venues require vaccine cards and masks are worn.
And I always wear my masks, even though most people fucking don't here ever. We've gone to the zoo. We've done gymnastics and swim class. And we have, like, what else have we done? We've done a lot of stuff while I've been here. So many fun things. Like,
we still got stuff coming up. I'm getting my tattoo on the 8th, and then we got
zoo lights.
Zoo
you
lights.
have no idea how hyped I am for zoo lights.
I love it.
I've been to the Phoenix Zoo with Evan now 4 times since I've been here, which doesn't sound like a lot of times, but it is.
It is.
Because it's a full day thing. Yeah. I don't just go there for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
it's a whole day.
We literally are there from like 10 a.m. to like closing time, which is like 4 p.m.
Closing time.
I love Third Eye They're not one, it's semi-sonic. It's so good. That's a very niche joke.
Yes.
But like they have this thing, the Phoenix Zoo does this thing where it's called Zoo Lights. They open the zoo up at night and they have like all of these animal lights.
Yeah.
They're animal shaped lights.
Yes.
I'm not making this sound great.
No, it's lights in the shapes of animals and all over the trees and all the things. Like, it's really cool.
But they have it up year round. It's not like they take this stuff down and put it up, like, so when we're walking through the zoo during the day, all of the things that you would see at night in zoo lights are there.
They're just not lit up. Yeah.
And they're just not lit up because it's day, obviously. Yeah. But like, so I've seen all and I cannot wait to see it lit up. It's going to be so hype. And I think Evan is going to be really excited this time around because we walk around and we see it and he points all of them out.
Yeah.
And he's super into Christmas lights now. People are putting them up now, which is what we're doing later today.
Today we are decorating for Christmas.
Which I am going to do my absolute best to not be shitty.
Nicole does not like Christmas, but thankfully in our house we don't really decorate like wildly for Christmas. There's not like a ton of Santas and stuff anywhere. It's just like a little lights, couple lights, put up some Christmas lights and it's a little ambiance. We're gonna put up a tree, but that's really it. That's like the extent of it.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people that doesn't like the holiday and will be an asshole about it. I respect that you like it. I have my own personal, like, very traumatic reasons for not liking this particular holiday. But again, because I'm with you guys and I'm gonna respect your traditions and I'm gonna, be hype for Evan.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Like, I promise I won't be shitty.
It's fine.
I'm excited for that. So yeah, like, this has been, Dilly and Dally's been together in real life for the first time ever. This is the first time ever that we've been together in real life recording the show. Now this is our second episode that we recorded in the same room. Hopefully we'll get one more out before I leave.
Yes, I hope so. Yeah. So the hope is that our next flight will hopefully take us by our friend Piper.
Vancouver.
Will take us to Vancouver to see our friend Piper, and we will talk to her about her business, Divergent Minds Club. Novi has a business accelerator program that we help people who are neurodivergent, who are otherwise disenfranchised, help start small businesses.
Because fuck Etsy.
Yes, because fuck Etsy. It's hard to start a small business. It is hard to handle all of the logistics and what we call unproductive labor. So we do that part. And we have recently brought on a creator named Piper, and she owns the business Divergent Minds Club, and she makes STEM jewelry for people who have ADHD and autism. Nicole's going to get her piece right now. They're disability friendly. They
look at that, guys. Magnets. Bring it. I just boop boop put it on. Oh, it's not. I didn't connect the magnet.
Do it.
But like,
do it again.
This is the thing. I bite my fingernails.
Yeah.
And so like I can never open my jewelry with clasps because I bite my fingernails and it's really fucking hard. They're so hard. And then I thought about it and I was like, how do people with disabilities do this? Fuck the jewelry industry. Yeah. Look at this. Bing.
Done.
It's amazing. And because I bite my fingernails, I got jewelry because that's how I stim. I stim because I chew. I have an oral fixation. I know that sounds dirty, but fuck all you. So like,
you can chew on it.
I can chew it.
You can chew it.
They're chewy.
That's amazing.
It's so good. And
earrings that you can pull back and forth and play with.
Yeah. And then she has other types of, besides the earrings, there are also necklaces that you can get jewelry options with them, but they have, mine has the little umbrella that you can rainbow. What the fuck, Nicole?
Umbrella.
This has a little rainbow thing that you can also chew on, but she has ones with pressure points because some people like, being able to press or rub like a worry stone. So many cool things. Go check out her on TikTok.
DivergentMindsClub.com.
Yeah, DivergentMindsClub.com. DivergentMindsClub.com.
Join the club.
Hey guys, I have one. A Divergent Mind.
Yes. But yeah, so we'll hopefully have Piper on to talk about her business and her a lot of new items that she's going to be relaunching in December 15th.
Yeah, very excited. So the day I leave here, so many things are happening.
I know. This is a lot.
Why did we do this to ourselves?
December 15th is a good day. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on this trip with us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Don't forget to Dilly.
And Dally. We didn't do that last time.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye.